Nagini Part II. Chandra Lake. I strode to the redwood door where I left Vanessa. I opened it to find her waiting for me on the other side. "I will come with you," Vanessa said. She slit her wrist with a nail, drawing amber blood. She offered me her wrist. "Swallow. It will protect you against Naga venom." I looked at her. "I promise no harm will come to you in my realm, and I need you to drink from me to keep this promise." She raised her wrist to my lips. I opened my mouth. Gently, she placed her wrist to it. I swallowed. It was like drinking liquid fire. I swallowed some more. Vanessa raised her other hand and placed it behind my neck. A touch warmed me. I released her wrist. "You are mine to guard, Nate," she said. I watched her wrist heal. "I think your plan will work, but it will be incredibly dangerous for all of us." "Do you know who whispers to them?" I said. "He's keeping his name from me, but I know he's old and very powerful. My father would know, but I can't reach him. If I try, I'd be vulnerable to the whispers too," Vanessa said. "Are you sure you don't want me to explain the plan?" Vanessa shook her head. I walked towards the staircase, Vanessa beside me and Mortimer behind her. We descended 4 sets of stairs to the sub-basement where I turned left and walked to the last door on the left. "Do not stray from Mortimer's protection." Vanessa nodded. I opened the door, once again to Patalok. It was quiet. The jungle had been flattened for half a mile. Beyond that edge, it brimmed with dense flora. Mortimer walked in first. He remained between myself and Vanessa. She looked at me. I nodded. Vanessa closed her eyes and uttered words that were too soft to hear. I turned to the door. Hamish waited there, at the threshold. I watched. I could sense movement on the ground around us. I clasped my cane. Turning to Mortimer, "I need to step out for a bit." "Wait, I will come with you," Vanessa said. I shook my head. "Mortimer's protection is blocking me." I moved around Mortimer to Vanessa and offered my left hand. "Do not let go." She took my hand. Her familiarity washed over me in waves. She knew the most intimate things about me, I thought. I heard her voice in my mind. "I do," she said. She was smiling when I looked at her. We stepped out of Mortimer's effulgence. The wet doggy smell of the jungle wafted over me in balmy waves. I felt like I was standing in treacle. Vanessa closed her eyes. Her lips moved, but made no sound. I watched the ground around us slither. I tightened my grip on my cane, swinging my knuckle in tiny circles. Blue fire ignited the ruins etched on my cane. I focused my energy into my right fist, making it glow blue. Nagas shot up through the ground, rising around us. Some of them could easily swallow all 3 of us with one gulp. I slammed my cane into the ground, discharging blue fire. It ripped across the land, burning all it touched. Nagas hissed as they were incinerated. More slid out from the dense jungle. I pushed Vanessa back towards Mortimer's effulgence, but she stood firm. Changing, she transformed into a giant cobra that sliced through a snake that leapt at me. Her body might as well have been a Japanese katana, I thought, as I watched her cut through 2 more Nagas effortlessly. More Nagas rocketed towards us, slithering, leaping, twisting, eating up the ground ahead of them. "There," Vanessa hissed. The Nagas were led by a smaller cobra with eyes the same color as Vanessa's. He wore a tiny crown on his head. "Clear me a path to him," I heard Vanessa's words in my mind. She hurtled towards the small Naga. I drew power out of my cane. Blue fire crackled between my palm and fingertips as I kneeled and pierced the ground with them. Blue lightning shot through the ground. I turned my hand, palm up. bolts shot out of the ground, rising like a barrage of arrows, each one hitting a naga, piercing it, disintegrating it. The cobra leapt at Vanessa, who coiled around him, holding his mouth in hers. She rolled towards us. Mortimer darted to her, covering them both with his effulgence. I dashed into his sphere just as the second line of nagas sped towards us. They attacked Mortimer's spear, but were unable to penetrate it. Vanessa wrestled with the small cobra, overpowering him. I could hear her thoughts. She was singing a lullaby, calming him, countering his moves to break free. Eventually, the cobra calmed. Vanessa kept singing. Both Vanessa and the cobra changed into their human forms. She held her little brother tightly. Tears streamed as he lay, unconscious, in her arms. He looked around 13 years old. I picked him up. Vanessa kept hold of his limp hand as we slowly edged towards the door. Nagas attacked the doorway, but Hamish was now a huge cat the size of a Siberian tiger. His fur crackled blue fire. He cut a naga in half with his claw, repelling the others to seize attacking the doorway. I stepped over the threshold, still holding the little naga. Vanessa came with me. Mortimer barked. It boomed, forcing the nagas back several meters. Slam, the door was closed. I looked at Vanessa, who nodded. I carried the boy up 4 sets of stairs to the entrance floor, where I turned left and stopped at the second door on the right. I looked at Vanessa, who unlocked the door to my living quarters. Swinging it open, she walked down a corridor that opened to a wide living quarters at the other end. A large window with blue velvet curtains drawn faced her. She walked to the room that had a king-sized bed on the left with oak table on either side, candlestick on each one. The table closest to the window had an iron-framed photograph of Keely holding a chubby baby, both smiling, a natural image. To the right was a door, beside a fireplace that burned a couple of wooden logs. The flames, with candlelight, gave the room a warm hue. Vanessa pulled open the curtains to the rolling ocean of black mist, coiling, twisting, sparking. I placed the boy on my bed. Mortimer entered the room with a vial of blue fire in his mouth. Vanessa tilted his head and gently parted his lips. She took the vial from Mortimer and fed it to her brother. A few seconds passed. Donnie uttered words under his breath. Whispers, walk with me. Whispers, walk with me, he said. I looked at Vanessa, who shook her head. Donnie, can you hear me? Vanessa said. Awaken. Donnie's eyes flickered as consciousness was returning. He opened them. His eyes were the same radiant amber color as Vanessa's. He looked at Vanessa. Didi? Vanessa smiled. Donnie edged up into a seated position. It's me, you're safe now, Vanessa said. Donnie, can you tell me what happened? I said. Donnie looked at me. We were beneath the lake near home, playing tag. Palace guards watched us from the shore. It was fun, but then I stopped. Something was talking to me. I swam deeper underground. It was coming from a crack in the lake bed. I went to have a look. The sound was getting louder. Not like underwater sound, it was clear. Like you talking to me now. I had a look in the crack to see what was there. Donnie looked at Vanessa. I could see fear in his eyes. It took over Didi. It crept in, forming a wall around me. I couldn't see how to get out. I asked it what it wanted, but it didn't answer me. It made everything black. I couldn't see anything. All I could hear was a whisper. It was bad, Didi. It made me tell the guards to kill my friends, but it just laughed, saying it wanted to show me who was in control, Donnie said. Vanessa hugged her little brother. You're safe now. It's okay, she said. Donnie's hand grabbed Vanessa's throat. Silly woman. Do you think I would let him go so easily? I want you, for I have need of both of you. Donnie squeezed harder. I snapped the blade of my left hand in Donnie's throat, whiplashing his neck. He collapsed on the bed. Who are you? I said. Be patient, gatekeeper. I want the Nagini first, Donnie said. Coward. You know who I am. Let the boy go. Come face me. Donnie sniggered. He opened his eyes. They were pitch black, like a patch of space had been stuck on them. He looked at Vanessa. Do you think you're the only one who can see the future? I know what you mean to him. You're next. Vanessa screamed. Holding her head, she fell off the bed. Mortimer barked, extending his effulgence around the boy. I moved to Vanessa, helping her to sit up. Donnie squirmed. Diddy, help me. He's burning me. Vanessa got up and dashed to Donnie, but bounced off Mortimer's effulgence. No, stay back, I said. Get him to Chandra Lake, Divine Mother said. She stood in the doorway. What you doing? Vanessa said as I entered Mortimer's effulgence, picking Donnie up. I looked at Mortimer, who nodded. I strode out the room. Mortimer kept up, ensuring his effulgence surrounded Donnie and myself. I turned right out the door and strode to the last door on the right. Where are you going? Vanessa said, following me. I opened the door and entered an endless area. The tip of the crescent moon lit the lake, which was made of liquid moonlight with shades of grey and black ripping on its surface. It stretched to the darkness. I could not see where one ended and the other began. Mortimer remained at the doorway. Divine Mother stopped Vanessa entering the pool. Only Guardian and one soul is permitted to enter the lake in order for the lake to claim a soul, she said. I lowered Donnie into the water. He submerged fully. After a few seconds, his face resurfaced, remaining there, eyes closed. He looked peaceful. I moved back towards the door. Stepping up, I stood in the corridor. Divine Mother and Mortimer waited with Vanessa, who had tears streaming from her eyes. It is the only way to keep him safe, I said. Vanessa wiped her eyes. How long does he have to stay there? Vanessa said. Dear one, your brother is being eaten by that which whispers to him. It is decaying his mind, taking him over like a virus. Had Guardian not placed him in the Chandra Lake, he would not have survived the night. Vanessa looked at me. I knew you'd hurt him. Her eyes peered into mine. I could see flecks of cerulean eyes in the radiant amber ones. Keely's image flashed in my mind. I understand why. The lake keeps him in stasis, frozen in time, so that the whispers become dormant, Vanessa said. How long for, Divine Mother? Mortimer rubbed his nose on Vanessa's leg. She stroked him. Divine Mother peered at Vanessa. Until Nape destroys the whispers, Vanessa said. I placed my hand on Vanessa's hand. You need to do something for me, Nape. Anything you wish, I said. Put me in there with him. I shook my head. I don't know how long I can hold the whispers off. Let the lake claim me for the time being, please. Come, Mortimer, we have duties to attend to, Divine Mother said. Mortimer and Divine Mother walked to the staircase and ascended them. Vanessa took both my hands. Warmth flowed through me. My heartstring tugged, making me feel like I don't want to let go. I now realized that I had loved this woman for a lifetime, only I'd never met her before. How? You will not be with Donnie. Just one soul in the lake at a time. Each one in its own stasis, I said. It'll be peaceful. I don't want to hurt anyone. Please, Vanessa said. End of Part 2. Part 3 to follow next Sunday at 11. Stay safe. Don't die in your sleep. Godspeed.